Hello everyone and welcome to today's class. It's about sampling methods. We discussed before that there is a difference between population and between parameter and statistic, right? So the parameters describe the entire population, such as sample mean, population mean and population variance, right? Now, because it's impossible to collect data from the entire population, we take a sample from that population, and this sample from the population, it's called statistic, right? So anything describes the sample, it's called a statistic. For example, if we calculate the mean of that sample, this is called sample mean. If we calculate the standard deviation of the sample, it's called sample standard deviation. So today's class is about sampling. How can we take a sample from the population? There are some sampling techniques. In this class, we are going to focus on 5 sampling techniques or 5 sampling methods, but in real life there are more than 5. So if you read some books or if you search online, you can find like more advanced sampling technique, but in this class we are going to discuss the basic 5 techniques. All right, so let's start with the first one. The first sampling technique is called simple random sample, or SRS. So let's look at the definition of the simple random sample. A sample of size n from a population of size capital N, so capital N is large and n is smaller than capital N, is obtained through simple random sample if every possible sample of size n has an equally likely chance of occurring. Okay? So in simple random sample, every object has the same chance of being selected. So there is no bias here if we use simple random sample. One disadvantage of this technique is sometimes it doesn't represent the diversity of the population. For example, suppose we have a population of like men and women, and we have a sample of, we want to select a sample of size 5 from that population. Maybe those 5 individuals are men, or all of them are women. But our population is a diverse population, right? Because we have men and women, but this sample or this small sample doesn't represent the entire population. All right, so this is the meaning of simple random sample. Let's look at an example. Example, a company wants to survey 100 employees from a total of 1,000 using simple random sample. So what we do, we give each employee a number, like number 1, number 2, number 3. Then we randomly select 100 unique numbers from the list of 1,000 numbers. So this is called simple random sample. So probability of selecting any employee is 100, or probability of selecting anyone is 1 over 1,000. So each employee has the same chance of being selected, right? So here I said a random number generator, so which means we may use a software to select those 100 numbers, or you can do it by hand. For example, randomly select 100 numbers. All right. The next technique is called stratified sampling. So the definition says, stratified sampling is a statistical method where you divide a population into distinct non-overlapping subgroups, or it's called strata, based on shared characteristics such as age, gender, location, education level, whatever characteristic, and then take a random sample from each subgroup to ensure that final sample represents the whole population's diversity. Okay, for example, suppose we have in this class there are 4 majors. Let's say I have math students, I have computer science student, I have engineering student, and I have, let's say, physics student, all right? So we have 4 majors. To select a sample using stratified method, I have to do the following. I divide the class to 4 groups. So this is the math groups, computer science students, engineering, and physics students. Then from each subgroup, I randomly select proportional number of students because, for example, if you have, let's say, 30 math and 20 computer science, I should select more math than computer science. So the idea here is from each subgroup, I have to select specific number of students or randomly select specific number of students. So this is called stratified sampling. All right, so example of that. Divide a sample of adults into subgroups by age. For example, 18 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, and so on. Then we randomly select proportional amount of people from each group from each subgroup. So from the first age group, I have specific number of people. From the second age group, the third age group, and so on. So this is called stratified. The third technique is called cluster sampling. Cluster sampling involves dividing the entire population into groups or clusters. A random selection of cluster is then chosen, and every member, be careful, every member within each selected cluster is included in the sample. All right, so example, in conducting a survey of school children in a large city, we could first randomly select 5 schools and then include all the children from each selected school. For example, in a large city, let's say there are like 100 high school or 100 elementary school. So what we do using a cluster technique, we randomly select 5 numbers from 1 to 100. All right, so let's say the first selected number is 7, 12, 15, 37, and 85. All right, so those are the 5 randomly numbers from 1 to 100. Then, so I have to go to those 5 schools and include all of the students in those schools in the survey. So this is called the cluster. It's different than stratified. In stratified, we divide, we divide in like some characteristics like age, gender, ethnicity, age, whatever, and from each subgroup I have to select some proportional number of students. But here is different. Here from 100 schools, I randomly select 5 and include all the students in those selected schools. So this is called cluster sampling. Number 4, the fourth technique is called systematic sampling. This method is based on every kth member from a population list after choosing a random starting point. All right, so the K is determined by dividing the population size by the desired number of samples. All right, so example, I think based on this example, we can understand the meaning of systematic. So our goal is to select a random group of 1,000 people from a population of 50,000. So we have 50,000, right? From this 50,000 population, I want to select a sample of size 1,000. So to do that using systematic technique, what we do, we divide 50,000 by 1,000. So the answer is 50, right? So the answer is 50. So this 50 is called K, all right? So this 50 is called K. So let me go back to the previous slide. The previous slide says the K, which is 50 in this example, is determined by dividing the population size by the desired sample size, right? So I have 50,000. This is my population size, and I need a sample of size 1,000. So when you divide, you get 50. So this 50 is K. All right, so the next slide. All right, so yeah, let's keep here in our example. All right, so we are here, right? So we divide 1,000, I mean 50 by 50,000 by 1,000, we get 50. So 50 is K. All right, so then every 50th person on the list would be chosen as a participant. So this means, but we have to choose the starting point. So the starting point, which means the first individuals, should be a number between 1 and 50, all right? So let's say I want to randomly select a number between 1 and 50. Let's say it was number 20. So this is the first individuals, then I have to add 50. So add 50, then 20 plus 50 is 70. So I have to select the 70th member. Add 50, 120. I have then to select the 120th member. Adds 50, 170, and keep going until you reach the 50,000. So this is called systematic technique. The last technique is called cluster. All right? I'm sorry, there's an issue. The title is not correct. Apologize for that. It's called convenience sampling. So the description or the definition is the definition of convenience. So this is not cluster, this is convenience. All right, so it's the convenience sampling. Convenience sampling, or it's called self-response sample. It's non-probability sampling method in which participants are selected based on how easy they are to reach or contact. All right, for example, suppose I announce in this class that I want to create, or there is a survey about my class, and if any of you guys is interested to complete that survey, then this is my sample. So maybe I have a size 40 students, and then just 5 students are interested in completing the survey, right? So this is my sample. So I didn't randomly select subgroups, or I didn't give each of you guys a number and randomly select some numbers. It's based on you guys. The students who are interested in this survey, then they are willing to complete the survey. So this is my sample. So this is called convenience sampling. Sorry, it's not cluster, it's called convenience sample. Another example here on this slide, asking people walking by on a street corner to participate in a quick study. Sometimes you go to like a grocery store like Target or Costco or whatever store, and then you find like people outside ask you guys like, hi, do you have a few minutes to complete the survey? Most of the time people are busy, they don't complete the survey, which is fine. But sometimes some people are interested in that survey. So they say, yes, I'm interested, and they answer the survey. So this is a perfect example of convenience sampling. All right, so those are the 5 sampling methods that we are discussing in this class. Again, if you read some other books, you can find more sampling techniques and some advanced techniques. But here we focus on 5 of them. All right, so I hope everything is clear, and you guys now know when we say like take a sample from that population, you know what is the meaning of the sample, and you can think about the technique of that sampling method. All right, thanks everyone.